Have you ever wondered if you're masturbating too much? Maybe you've searched online late at night, worried after reading scary articles claiming that masturbation causes weakness, memory loss, hair fall, low testosterone, or even permanent health problems. You're not alone. Millions of people around the world have asked the exact same question: what is the safe limit of masturbation? And perhaps even more importantly, can masturbation actually harm your body? The truth is that masturbation remains one of the most misunderstood topics in human health. Despite being a completely normal human behavior, it is surrounded by myths, fear, embarrassment, and misinformation. Some people believe that masturbation is completely harmless no matter how often it's done. Others believe that even occasional masturbation can destroy your health. So who's right? Today, we're going to examine what modern medical science actually says about masturbation, how much is considered normal, whether there is a safe limit, what side effects can occur when it becomes excessive, and the warning signs that may indicate it is affecting your physical or mental health. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer understanding of one of the most commonly asked health questions in the world. Let's begin with perhaps the most important fact of all. Masturbation itself is not considered a disease, a disorder, or an unhealthy activity by major medical organizations. In fact, research suggests that masturbation is a common part of human sexuality across different ages, cultures, and societies. Many healthy men and women masturbate occasionally, regularly, or sometimes not at all, and all of these patterns can be considered normal. But this immediately raises an important question. If masturbation is normal, then why do so many people feel worried about it? Part of the answer comes from centuries of myths and misinformation. For hundreds of years, people believed that masturbation caused blindness, insanity, weakness, infertility, and many other serious health problems. Today, modern science has thoroughly investigated these claims, and the overwhelming majority of these traditional myths have been found to be false. For example, masturbation does not cause blindness. It does not permanently lower testosterone levels. It does not shrink your muscles. It does not automatically cause hair loss. It does not drain your body's nutrients to dangerous levels. And in healthy individuals, masturbation itself does not cause permanent physical weakness. However, that doesn't mean the story ends there. Because while masturbation itself is generally considered safe, the frequency, context, and impact on your daily life can make a very important difference. This brings us to the question that millions of people search for every month. How much masturbation is too much? The honest answer may surprise you. There is no universal medical number that applies to every person. There is no scientific rule that says 3 times a week is safe, but 4 times is dangerous. Human sexuality varies enormously from one individual to another. Some people may masturbate once a month, while others may do so several times a week, and both can be perfectly healthy. Instead of asking how many times per week is normal, doctors often ask a different question. Is masturbation negatively affecting your life? For example, if someone masturbates occasionally and continues to maintain healthy relationships, perform well at work or school, exercise regularly, sleep properly, and feel emotionally healthy, then their behavior is generally not considered problematic. But if masturbation begins interfering with daily responsibilities, relationships, mental health, sleep patterns, or physical well-being, then it may become a concern regardless of the exact number. Let's look at some of the signs that masturbation may be becoming excessive. One of the first warning signs is when it starts interfering with your daily life. Imagine someone staying awake until 3 in the morning watching explicit content, then feeling exhausted at work or school the next day. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation can affect concentration, memory, mood, hormone balance, and overall health. Another sign is when masturbation becomes a way of escaping stress, anxiety, loneliness, depression, or emotional problems, rather than simply being part of normal sexual behavior. In these situations, the issue may not be masturbation itself, but rather the underlying emotional challenges that need attention. Some individuals may also experience temporary physical symptoms after very frequent masturbation sessions. These can include temporary fatigue, genital soreness, skin irritation, or reduced sensitivity for a short period of time. Fortunately, these effects are usually temporary and improve with rest. But perhaps the biggest area of concern in recent years isn't masturbation itself. It's something that often accompanies it in the digital age, and according to many experts, this hidden factor may have a much greater impact on mental health, relationships, and sexual function than masturbation alone. And once you understand what this factor is, you may begin to see why so many people feel that their habits are affecting their lives in ways they never expected. The factor that many experts are increasingly concerned about is not masturbation itself, but the excessive consumption of pornography. In today's digital world, explicit content is available 24 hours a day, often with just a few clicks. Unlike previous generations, modern viewers can access an endless stream of highly stimulating content. Some researchers believe that this constant novelty may affect the brain's reward system in ways that natural sexual experiences do not. To understand why, we need to briefly talk about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a major role in motivation, reward, and pleasure. Every time you experience something enjoyable, whether it's eating your favorite food, achieving a goal, exercising, or engaging in sexual activity, your brain releases dopamine. This is completely normal and essential for human behavior. However, some experts suggest that excessive exposure to highly stimulating online content may lead certain individuals to seek increasingly intense stimulation over time. For some people, this can contribute to problems such as reduced motivation, difficulty concentrating, increased anxiety, or unrealistic expectations about relationships and sexuality. It's important to note that not everyone experiences these problems, but for those who do, the impact can be significant. This brings us to another common question. Does masturbation lower testosterone levels? The short answer is no, at least not in any permanent or medically significant way. Scientific studies have found that masturbation and ejaculation do not cause long-term reductions in testosterone levels in healthy individuals. Hormone levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day due to sleep, stress, exercise, nutrition, and many other factors. While there may be small temporary changes around sexual activity, these changes are short-lived and do not appear to harm long-term health. Another widespread myth is that masturbation causes infertility. Again, scientific evidence does not support this claim. In healthy men, the body continuously produces sperm. Masturbation itself does not cause permanent infertility. In fact, healthcare providers sometimes even recommend ejaculation before certain medical tests to evaluate reproductive health. However, if someone experiences persistent fertility problems, the cause is usually related to other medical factors rather than masturbation itself. What about weakness? This is perhaps one of the oldest and most common fears. Many people report feeling tired after masturbation and assume that it has drained their body's energy. In reality, temporary relaxation or mild fatigue after orgasm is completely normal. During sexual release, your body experiences changes in hormones and neurotransmitters that can produce feelings of relaxation and sleepiness. This temporary feeling is not the same as causing long-term physical weakness or damaging your body. But while many traditional fears are not supported by science, there is one area where excessive sexual behavior of any kind can become a real concern: compulsive behavior. Compulsive sexual behavior occurs when a person feels unable to control their actions despite experiencing negative consequences. For example, if someone repeatedly misses work, damages relationships, neglects responsibilities, or experiences significant emotional distress because of their sexual habits, then professional support may be helpful. So, what is the actual safe limit of masturbation? The most scientifically accurate answer is that there is no universal number that applies to everyone. For one person, once a week may feel normal. For another person, several times per week may also be completely healthy. The question isn't necessarily how often you're doing it. The question is whether it is negatively affecting your physical health, mental well-being, relationships, sleep, work, education, or quality of life. In other words, if masturbation remains a balanced part of your life, does not interfere with your responsibilities, and does not cause physical injury or emotional distress, then medical experts generally do not consider it harmful. But if it begins to control your thoughts, affect your daily routine, or create significant problems, then it may be time to step back and evaluate what's happening. And perhaps the most surprising part of this entire discussion is that some research suggests masturbation may even have certain health benefits under specific circumstances. So, what exactly are these potential benefits, and where should we draw the line between healthy behavior and unhealthy behavior? That's where the science becomes even more interesting. Surprisingly, scientific research suggests that masturbation may provide certain benefits for some individuals when practiced in moderation. For example, some studies indicate that sexual activity, including masturbation, may help reduce stress levels by promoting the release of hormones and neurotransmitters associated with relaxation and pleasure. This is one reason why some people report feeling calmer or more relaxed afterward. Masturbation may also help some individuals sleep better. After orgasm, the body releases chemicals such as prolactin and oxytocin, which can contribute to feelings of relaxation and drowsiness. Of course, this doesn't mean masturbation should be used as a sleeping pill, but it does help explain why many people naturally feel tired afterward. For some people, masturbation can also serve as a way to better understand their own bodies, sexual preferences, and responses. In healthy relationships, this self-awareness can sometimes contribute to better communication and sexual satisfaction. Additionally, some research has explored whether regular ejaculation may be associated with certain prostate health benefits in men, although scientists continue to study this area and more research is needed. But here's where it's important to be realistic. Just because something may have benefits doesn't mean more is always better. This is true for exercise, food, sleep, and even water. Nearly everything in human health exists on a spectrum, and balance matters. If you find yourself constantly worrying about whether you've masturbated too much, ask yourself a few simple questions. Is it interfering with your work or studies? Is it affecting your sleep? Is it damaging your relationships? Is it causing emotional distress, guilt, anxiety, or loss of control? If the answer to these questions is no, then there may be far less reason to worry than you think. On the other hand, if you feel that your sexual habits are controlling your life rather than being controlled by you, speaking with a healthcare professional or mental health specialist can be extremely helpful. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's simply taking care of your health. So, what is the final answer to the question? What is the safe limit of masturbation? The truth is that there is no single number that applies to everyone. There is no scientific rule that says once a day is dangerous, twice a week is ideal, or once a month is necessary. Human sexuality is incredibly diverse, and what matters most is not the exact frequency, but the impact it has on your overall health and quality of life. Modern medical science tells us that masturbation itself is generally a normal and healthy human behavior. Most of the frightening myths surrounding it, including blindness, permanent weakness, infertility, memory loss, and testosterone depletion, are not supported by scientific evidence. However, excessive behavior, especially when combined with compulsive pornography use or when it begins interfering with daily life, can become problematic. At the end of the day, the healthiest approach is balance. Pay attention to your body, your mental health, your relationships, and your responsibilities. If those areas of your life remain healthy and stable, then you are likely focusing on the things that matter most. Because ultimately, good health isn't about fear. It's about understanding your body, making informed choices, and relying on evidence rather than myths. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next science-based health video. Thanks for watching.